capital of Bogota, of Colombia, South America, at about 8,500 feet above sea level. Beyond the mountain range, up in the Andes, is the moorland. It's a huge expansion of land that is both beautiful and dangerous. Dangerous because it is the hideout for the leftist guerrillas that are trying to overtake the government. And also the hideout for the drug lords that use it for trafficking, manufacturing, and moving cocaine. The moorland poses a huge threat to the city. So up there is also a military base that protects the city from the threats of the moorland and competes with the guerrillas and the drug lords trying to get sympathizers and collaborators. The tension up there is as ever present as the fog. The law in Colombia states that when you graduate high school, you need to register and participate in a government-run literacy program. You have for 2 or 3 days a week on your senior year of high school, you have to teach people how to read and write in public schools and community-based organizations that are assigned by your school district. It's a huge commitment. So when I was 17, I found out about a program that instead of doing all that for a whole year, you can do 4 Saturdays, 8 hours each Saturday, 4 Saturdays in a row, and you got your certification. And I signed up immediately. I had better things to do. So, and I figured if I'm smart enough to trick the system into certifying me in 4 days versus a year, I could handle whatever was happening up there in the country of fog. Because the catch was that that's where the school that I had to go teach was. So I showed up on the location. The place is run by nuns. And when you get up there, you can't see anything. You're like surrounded by fog. You can barely see 50 feet into the fog. There's military patrol everywhere. Leftist propaganda plastered on the walls everywhere. The tension is prevalent. We get to the school, and it's run by nuns. There's like 200 kids there. They're 12 to 13 years old. They look like they're sick because their growth has been stunted because of undernourishment. And the nuns brief us, you know, they're all jaded, they all smoke. Nobody's wearing like a cassock or anything, so jeans and sweaters. And they're like, no, you're not teaching anything. You're going to keep an eye on the kids. If we provide them with a safe haven for Saturday, the goal is met. That's it. So in the back of the school, there's these little rooms where they have a space heater, 4 chairs, 4 blankets. It's freezing up there. Now you are at about 10,000 feet above sea level. And the kids, they have the uniform, it's a little white t-shirt and shorts because there's not a lot of funds. So they come into the little rooms with the space heaters to warm up. So they sit in the little chairs and they're shivering and they're like hungry and they're dirty and they're beautiful. And you put a blanket around them and I cover 1, 2, 3 and I'm covering the 4th one and she flips out and she's kicking me and she's biting me and she's like pulling my hair and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And then the siren goes off. And everybody freezes. I open the door to see what's happening and I hear the gunshots of automatic weapons going off. I'm like, holy cow, what the hell is going on? A kid has been attacked by a pack of stray dogs, which happens a lot up there in the mountains. The army has killed some of the dogs and scared them away with the gunshots. The nuns are running to the infirmary to get the kids stitched. And everybody's outside waiting to see what happens. A little kid with a blue ball comes up to me and he says, you know, don't take it personally if the kids try to beat you up. You know, they're angry, they're hungry. Some of them have been sexually abused. Holy cow. Anyway, I go back home, I tell my brother, he's a doctor, tell the story of my day. He looks preoccupied. He says, not a good idea to stitch up a dog bite. You know, better to leave it open, clean it up well, can get an infection. You have to go back. Go back up to the mountains, meet the nun, tell her, look, you know, that's what my brother says. He's a doctor, what should we do? They all freak out. It's a lot of tensions. We end up going door to door, and we end up collecting like 25 kids who had been stitched up, attacked by dogs. Now we have to unstitch them and go through our deal with the parents. The whole thing's a disaster. By the time we're done, it's too late and too dark to leave the neighborhood, too dangerous. So I have to stay and sleep over at the little school. I'm in the little room with the space heater and the blanket and the little chair. By the time I got home on the other day, I was a man. When I left my house, I was 18. By the time I came back, I was a man. Any little innocence that I had was left up there, lingering in the mountains with the fog. Years later, I'm on a bus stop, and somebody covers my eyes. And I'm like, and she says, "Guess who?" And I'm like, I have no idea who this is. And she whispered in my ear, "You taught me how to read." It was the little girl that had attacked me up there when I was putting the blanket on her. She was the only one that learned how to read. Because by the third Saturday, I had fallen in love with all the nuns. By the fourth, the kids were my kids. 4 Saturdays turned into 62. And when she whispered that in my ear, I felt some of that innocence lost, rushing down from the mountain, straight into my heart, cleaning up that burning feeling of guilt that I had for trying to avoid my responsibilities with a literacy program.